What's up, 8th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is for homework 14-6, and in this topic we are going to be using the equations for trend lines to actually answer questions about whatever it is that we happen to be measuring. So last week we were tasked with just finding the equation. Well, the whole point of finding the equation is so that you can use it to make predictions, right? Or to find information. And there's two types of problems that you're going to see. So I'm going to go over number 1 and number 2 from the homework. All right, the scatter plot shows the annual profit for a certain airline in millions of dollars for the years between 2000 and 2010. The equation of the trend line is, and they actually give us the equation. So in this topic, we don't have to figure it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it. The equation is y is equal to 0.2x plus 4.8. So that's the equation of this blue line over here, where x represents the number of years since 2000. Let's clarify what that means. That means if the year is 2001, then x would equal 1. If the year is 2006, then x would equal 6, right? It's the number of years since 2000. And y is going to represent the profits. Use the equation to estimate the profit in 2006. Okay, so they want us to find the profit. They want us to find what is y, and they give us x, right? They give us x right here. And again, we have to think of this as not of 2006, but how many years since 2000. So this is 6 years since the year 2000. So all we're going to do here to use this equation is we're going to take 6, we're going to plug it in for x in our equation, and then we're going to solve. So I get y is equal to 0.2 times 6, right? Instead of x, I'm plugging in the 6 plus 4.8. Now remember, all these numbers are in millions. So this 4.8 actually means 4.8 million. And that 0.2 means 0.2 million, which would be 200,000. All right, order of operations says we're going to multiply. Excuse me. We're going to multiply before we add. So what is 0.2 times 6? That is 1.2. And again, that means 1.2 million. Plus 4.8. And 1.2 plus 4.8. 1 plus 4 is 5. And then 0.2 plus 0.8 is another 1. So that is 6. So that is 6 million is their profit. All right, now we can actually look at the graph and see, does this answer actually make sense? So we're looking for years since 2000, right? So year 0 would be 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, right? And our trend line goes through right there. And you can see it's kind of covered up right now, but you can see that that would cross at roughly 6 million. Put it in. Got it. All right, so that's the first type of question where you're going to be inputting the x value. And generally, it's going to be years. We usually measure something, how it's changing over time, right? So let's look at the second type of question. So I'm just going to go on to number 2 here. All right, this one's talking about stock prices. So any of you that want to make big bucks, right, go into finance, this assignment is full of questions involving finance, profits, revenue, all that kind of stuff, right? So you have to be mathematically literate. You have to be fluent in math if you want to go into finance, make the big bucks. All right, the data table shows the price of a certain stock on the first day of several months in 1 year. So on January 1st, it was this price. And on March 1st, this price. May 1st, this price, and so on. The equation of the trend line that models the data in the table is that. So they give us the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. There it is. where X represents the X month of the year. All right, let's clarify what that means. January is the first month of the year, so X would equal 1. April is the fourth month of the year, so April would equal 4. December is the 12th month of the year, so X would equal 12. Okay, that's what that means. And Y represents the price of the stock. All right, in which month was the price of the stock about 1480? So notice they give us the price of the stock. That's our Y value. They give us our Y value. So this time, instead of plugging in a value for X, we're plugging in a value for Y, and then we're going to solve for X. So that's how this type of problem is different than the previous one. So now we need to rewrite the equation, except instead of Y, we're going to use 14.80. And there's my equation. And now when we solve this, our only variable here is X, and that will tell us, right? If we get, a 7 for X, that means July. If we get a 9, that means September. All right. It's been a while since we solved two-step equations. I'm actually teaching this right now in my 7th grade class. So when you have a two-step equation like this, all right, step 1 is always to undo addition or subtraction. Undo addition or subtraction. In this case, we are adding. So we're going to undo that by subtracting 13 from both sides. Make sure you line it up correctly over here, right? We're subtracting 13 whole numbers, so we have to put it underneath the 14. So on the left-hand side, I'm left with $1.80 is equal to, those cancel, and I get 0.3x. Step 2 of solving a two-step equation is to undo multiplication or division. So you have to look and see, what do you have? Undo multiplication or division. Well, anytime you have a number next to a variable, that means multiplication. So this means 0.3 times x. So we want to undo that. And the way you undo multiplication is by dividing. So I'm going to divide by 0.3, divide by 0.3. Those cancel, and we get x is equal to $1.80 divided by 0.3 is 6. Okay, well, what does that mean, right? Remember what I talked about. This means the 6th month of the year, which is June. The month of June. And if you look at the trend here, this is a good stock to buy. It's going up, all right? It's going up by 25%-ish over the course of the year here. That's pretty good increase. But if you look, it's in May, it's just about $14, and in July it's over 15. So this 14.8, right, would fit right in here, and that fits with the pattern. I mean, it could have a spike up or down. It doesn't have to be, but this just generally does seem to fit with the pattern of sort of gradually going up. So I look at my answers here, and boom, there's June. Got it. Okay, so again, there's two types of questions here. There's one type where you're going to be solving for whatever the x value is, and there's one type you're going to be solving for whatever the y value is. So make sure you're really clear on which one that you know and which one you're trying to find. All right, bring lots of questions to class, and I'll see you guys soon.